Okay, guys, we should now be on micro, which we're looking at in unit 2 into markets. Basically, a market, I always think of like when you go to a flea market and like you could barter. You're like, okay, they have a set price, but you usually as a consumer want to get it as the lowest price possible. So within a market, we see buyers and sellers interact, and they're going to determine price. You as a demander, right? Usually you want to go and get a good deal. You don't want to go out there saying that you're going to be a big old baller and spend all your money, right? You want to get the best deal, so you save. But if you are a supplier, a person who's creating this stuff, you want to sell at the highest price. And so what we're going to be looking at in microeconomics is just this, what is it, a perfectly competitive market? And that means where both people, buyers and sellers, basically get to determine price. And so we could look at the New York Stock Exchange as one of those things. And so markets are less formal. Sorry, my finger was in the way because I'm holding this by my hand and I don't have my stand to do this. And so we know what motivates a seller. A seller wants to get the most for his product. A buyer wants to be able to get the lowest price. And it's where they mutually agree on the price is where we're going to see the market interact, and we'll see them clearing the market. So we're going to look at Steve's demand schedule right here. At 50 cents, do you see how Steve is like, that is a good deal? I don't know how many of you are looking at this gas price being like, wow. If gas was that cheap, I would be going everywhere. I'd be driving to California. And so if you see right here, his demand for gasoline is really high. But however, over here at $9, Steve is not demanding much gas. So this is called the law of demand. That when price is low, your demand is high. When price is high, your demand is low. So this is why we go to Sonic during happy hour, because the price is half off, right? So we demand more during happy hour. So because of that, there's an inverse relationship between price, right? When price is low, demand is high. And when price is high, demand is low. Because of that inverse relationship, we are going to see that our demand curve will slope downward. Okay? It slopes downward because when price is up, demand is low. When price is low, demand is high. And right here, we also see the interaction of how buyers act. When the price was $3, he demanded 40 gallons. But when the price went up to $5, he only demanded 30. And so that's going to be shown with the movement up the curve. So he's demanding less, because when price goes up, you demand less, unless you're like a millionaire and money doesn't have any value to you. But what we're looking at is a perfectly competitive market where goods and services are bought. They're all the same. So every single ounce of gasoline is exactly the same. Most of us don't have pure markets. Okay, so now what we're looking at is a market demand schedule. And again, here's the price, and here's how each individual acts. So they're adding Steve and Nora together, and that's going to give us a market basket. And so in this market basket, we could then take Steve and Nora's and create a market. And a market is just, we're looking at a group of consumers and how they interact, and they interact the same. When we see that price was low, Steve and Nora demanded a lot more. When price was high, they demanded a lot less. Nora was going to walk everywhere because she was not going to pay $9, okay? And so looking at this, we total up everybody's consumption, and this leads us to a market. And so demand, just like what I was going over before, the law of demand is this whole idea buyers will demand less of a good when that price is high. If the price is lower, we demand more. Okay, this is why we go out to Black Friday, right? The prices are going to be good. I don't go to Black Friday because I just don't like shopping with people. I need to be online shopping. I need to be in a store where no one's rubbing up against me. But people online shop on Black Friday or Cyber Monday because guess what? The prices are lower, right? People are going to go and get a good deal. I don't know how many people go up there saying, I'm just going to go to the store because prices are high. Usually people are going out during Labor Day, Memorial Day because the prices are low. Those buyers are going out there because they want to save. So the law of demand is cost beneficial to the consumer. So again, this is just going through that demand schedule, and a demand curve slopes downward. Okay, so anytime we have a change in price, that is going to mean that we stay on this demand curve. So this demand curve for Nora basically said at all these different prices, this is what she was going to demand. And when there's a change in price, we stay on that demand curve. When something other than price changes, we're going to see a shift of the demand curve. And so I refer to this as timer, but it's giving me some acronyms right here, not in the order that I do it. But if you've had me, you know timer or pimer. So first thing, let's just look at y'all right now. Your income, I know y'all are not billionaires. I know you're depending on your parents to be your money bags. But right now your income is very limited, right? And so that's one of the things that could shift the demand curve. Let's just say your parents won the lottery. All of a sudden your demand curve is going to shift to the right. Okay? Let's say after college you get that big job and you're making 6 figures. Your demand curve is going to shift to the right. So right now here is a decrease in demand. Let's just say, like, I lost my job, heaven forbid. My demand curve would shift to the left because I no longer have my income, right? So there's a difference between normal goods and inferior goods. Normal goods is what you buy every single time you go to the store. So I go to the store and I buy boar's head meat because it has all of these natural benefits. It gets things out of there that I don't want my kids eating. But let's just say I lose my job. I'm not going to be buying boar's head meat, which is like $10 a pound. I'm going to go buy an inferior good like bologna or maybe Oscar Mayer. Okay, so your income will impact your demand for stuff. So let's just say all of a sudden Miss Huskinson wins the lottery. Well, her demand curve is going to shift to the right. Is she going to be just going to the average fast food place anymore? No, she's probably going to go eat, I don't know, at the finest steak restaurants and maybe take you all with her. Right? The other thing about the demand curve is the price of related goods. So a substitute is something that, like, I love Diet Coke. It is my passion. It is my go-to drink. But Diet Coke's really expensive. Like, for a 12-pack, it's $5. And so I could substitute Diet Coke with Hill Country Fair Diet Coke, but I don't do that. But a substitute is something cheaper. Okay, so let's just say Miss Verdeen lost her job. I'm going to have to substitute my Diet Coke altogether and probably just deal with Hill Country Fair. Okay, that's a substitute. Okay, so I'm really excited in 2 weeks that the Super Bowl is happening because Diet Coke's going to go on sale. I could probably get like 3 12-packs. And so my demand for Diet Coke is going to go up. But after that, if I'm really looking and penny pinching, I'm probably going to substitute my Diet Coke for Hill Country Fair Diet Coke. Okay, so another thing is a compliment right here. A compliment is not like how beautiful you are or anything like that. A compliment is 2 things that go together. So like peanut butter and jelly, queso and chips. So think about your favorite compliment. I really love Doritos and bean dip. I really like a Diet Coke with chips. So that's a compliment. Many of y'all probably like fries with ketchup. That's a compliment. I think about salads, right? Salads have to have dressing. That's a compliment. So one of the things that you have to understand that when a price of one compliment goes up, like let's just say lettuce goes up, what's going to happen to our demand for salad dressing? It's going to go down. Okay. What happens when all of a sudden chips are cheaper? My demand for dip goes up. Okay. So price of related goods, substitutes, when a price of one thing goes up, we're going to demand the other because it's cheaper. Okay. A compliment, it goes in the reverse direction. When prices go up for, let's just say peanut butter, my demand for jelly goes down. The next thing we have down here is taste. That's one of the things that affects our demand curve. So I always make fun of this in my class, like fidget spinners. Like 5 years ago, fidget spinners were in. So all of a sudden, our businesses were making fidget spinners. So the demand for fidget spinners went to the right. But today, is there much of a demand for fidget spinners? No. So the demand curve went to the left. My class actually gave me a good example of this, of taste. All of a sudden, everybody wants these AirPods, right? And so what has happened to the demand for stinking headphones with wires? It has gone to the left, right? And the demand curve for AirPods has gone up, or anything that is wireless. Expectations. This is just that idea that if there was something really good about avocados in the news recently that many people were saying that avocados are a good way to deter cancer. And so all of a sudden people are going to start buying. The demand for avocados are going to go up. Also, the number of buyers